All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every time by OURA, committed to empowering people to take control of their personal health while measuring all these key metrics: sleep, recovery, activity, and then breaking it down. Not just sleep, but you get heart rate through the night, heart rate variability, core temp, sleep cycles, latency. It's all right there, all in this little package. Head on over to OURA Ring. That's OURA ring.com. Get you a sizing kit. Start tracking. We're talking about stage 15. Let's cue mon ami Alain.
Stage 15, Serré to Andorre-la-Vieille.
Oh my Lord, Andorre-la-Vieille. For next year, I feel like we should have him, instead of, because he speaks perfect English, as he speaks Spanish as well, but he says stage 15. I feel like he should say, I feel like he should tell this airplane to land right now, for starters, but somebody should tell this guy to land, but he should say that in French. We'll upgrade that, folks, for 2022.
And you said he's in town.
He's in town, yeah. And we're going to have him come do an in-person one. And we have a special guest, apparently, tomorrow, reading the translation for stage 16. Or actually not tomorrow, because that's a rest day, and we're going to get into that. But more importantly, been 10 years since we've seen an American win a stage in the Tour de France. Our man, Sepp Kuss. Holy hell. Did he look good?
He looked amazing. A lot of people were questioning the jumbo tactics, having three guys in the breakaway, leaving Vingegaard alone. But man, what an incredible day. They had intention. Wout van Aert was sprinting for the KOM points, and Sepp Kuss, a resident of Andorra, lives there, ended up riding a masterful race, tactically super sound, and just rode away from everybody.
And the guy we've seen in the past year especially has been capable of winning, but he's usually there working for Roglic as a team effort. And, just looking at all the emails our listeners have sent in the last 2 years, they love this guy and have been wanting him to have a stage win. That just hasn't been his role.
Well, he's won a stage in the Vuelta. He's won a stage in the Dauphiné. Now he's won a stage in the Tour. And he's young. He's a young kid, came from the mountain bike. That was funny when you're watching a stage like that. He makes a bold attack, but then you've got this 15-kilometer downhill section with sharp turns. And my first question is like, can he go downhill? And, came from the mountain bike. So when you hear things like that, you're like, okay, he can probably handle his bike and get down there. And he has a guy, Alejandro Valverde, chasing him, who we know can go downhill.
Which, by the way, won his first stage of the Tour de France in 2005 when you were leading the Tour de France.
Wow.
Long time ago.
An old fart.
Yep.
Well, and that's a testament to local knowledge, knowing that descent.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you hear those two things. You hear that he originally came from the mountain bike scene, and he lives there. Like, okay.
We got a slide up of Valverde. You don't look too happy there, LA. I don't know what's going on with you.
I actually don't know what's going on there.
I remember that stage.
God, he looks different. I guess that's what time does to you. Imagine you just all those years and miles and days out in the sun.
Yeah. Going back to Sepp, I was originally super disappointed. We all were when Roglic dropped out of the Tour, being a favorite. But you know what? It ended up being a really good thing for American cycling, because most likely he would not have had that opportunity to be in the breakaway, to go for the stage win. Not only a stage win, but a stage win in his European hometown. His girlfriend and girlfriend's parents were on the last climb cheering him on. I mean, imagine, that is a dream come true for any cyclist, to ride in solo at the Tour de France, but in your hometown where you live in Europe. It's just an incredible day for him and his family and all of his loved ones.
Yeah.
Do any of us know where he is contractually with Jumbo?
You know what? Somebody just asked me that before, and I think he just signed a three-year deal this year, so 2 more years.
Yeah. Let's keep breaking it down, because it was a great day for American cycling, and I want to later in the show I want to get into, because we get so many questions about how many Americans are in their tour, where are the Americans, where is it, sort of the presence, right, and the power from American cycling in the tour. But I got some thoughts on that. I want to share that later. And we didn't even put them in the show notes because I wanted to surprise you guys. But before we continue on, today's show also brought to you by Element. This is my go-to hydration source. Helped me yesterday as I schooled George on the mountain bike. I sweat a lot and lose a lot of key things, and Element is the one that replaces it the best for me. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, and a couple new flavors. We got watermelon salt and grapefruit salt. Special offer for our listeners. You get the Element sample pack for the cost of shipping. It's about $5. Each sample pack includes 8 packets of Element. This offer is limited to one time per customer. Head on over to drinklmnt.com/themove and get your recharge sample pack just for the cost of shipping. Today's show also brought to you by Roka. We talk about them all the time. Love them. Rob and his whole team down in Austin, man, they push themselves. I follow their Instagram closely, and these guys are just hitting it. And I'm like, yes, no wonder they develop and design and produce badass product. Like, it's every part of it, the performance shades, prescription shades, it's all right there. Lightweight, amazing lenses, don't scratch, don't slip, right? Those babies stay on. By the way, whoever Sep Kuss's sunglass sponsor is not very happy because he chunked them like 5 seconds before the line. But Roka's, they've rethought this whole category. A special offer for our listeners, 20% off. Just go to Roka, that's ROKA.com, and use the MOVE at checkout to get, that's all one word, by the way, get 20% off at checkout. There's flow code. The airplane has finally left, circling the house. Thank you. But yeah, what a day. What a day. 10 years. And he looked good. You said it was a good day for that team and for an American, but with Roglic being out of the race, but Vingegaard, now you're seeing a whole new, if we were Danish, we would be talking about how special this could be for Denmark.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different things. Well, before, like you said, what a great day for Sepp. He not only was it a great day winning the stage, but he went faster than any of the GC riders up the last climb.
Really?
Of course, there's a lot of things going on tactically, attacking, slowing down. But still, for being in the breakaway the whole day, which I think we need to break down the breakaway as well, because we saw some kind of strange tactics from France de Joux. They basically towed a 33-guy breakaway. They pulled the whole time. They had 3 guys in the breakaway. Matteo was asked, why are you guys doing all the work? And he said, we have no choice. We have nothing in the Tour de France. We have to come away with a stage win. Well, you know what? Race it differently. You don't have to pull 33 guys. No. Let them do the work. Let everybody. You don't have, just because you have 3 guys in the breakaway doesn't mean you have to do all the work, especially with a breakaway of 30 guys. It was kind of crazy.
I have some news for Mark Matteo. Nobody is looking at you. I promise you. You are, of the 23 teams, you're in the bottom 10, 20%. You have no responsibility. Sit on the wheels.
Exactly.
Wait.
Right. Especially knowing you have some super strong climbers, not only some super strong climbers, but climbers that actually live in that area, that know those climbs like the back of their hand. You got to key off of them. You had Jumbo with 3 guys. Why? Why in the world would you be doing all the work for all of these guys? Made no sense.
Any TV interest there? Sometimes they'll put guys on the front because they know that's going to be guaranteed TV time.
No. Matteo needs a stage win, no doubt. But if you need a stage win, you got to ride differently than that.
He better check himself because that was not right.
No.
Isn't Matteo the guy we showed clips of him? He just loses his mind. That's the guy.
Yeah, it's highly entertaining. Yeah. Highly entertaining.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of weird tactics things going on with how France de Joux rode today. Then you have Ineos still riding like they're leading the Tour de France, still doing all the work, they're making it so hard. They have such a strong team that they're basically neutralizing Carapaz's attacks and the rest of the the top 3 contenders' attacks, because they get to the go time on the climb and they're all just dead. It'll do a little bit of an attack and go nowhere. And I just love seeing the way Ron's riding. You'll see him. He won't go directly after the attack. He'll ride his pace and just claw back his way in every time. And he's getting better and better. You saw him at the top of the climb already starting to do his own attacks, not just hanging in there. So we're just starting to see the start of the race for Ron.
This thing about France de Joux, so they're sponsored by the French lottery. I think maybe they should just look at the jersey. And many times this is a lottery. Like, they're not winning the Powerball anytime with these tactics. Yeah. Like, just sit in there. Nobody. You're right, George. That's a great point.
Well, Pogačar, to your point about Ineos, he has no teammates up there, yet Ineos has this perfect pacing for him.
Absolutely. I feel like they should stop doing that eventually, but they did the same exact thing they were doing in the Alps. Just go to the front, make it hard. Made 2 of their guys in the breakaway sit up and wait for Carapaz to continue on with the pacing. I was just like, guys, at some point, they don't have to do that anymore if they're trying to get second or third, or perhaps they're still thinking they can unseat Pogačar, which is highly unlikely. But I feel like they need to have a serious strategy change right now.
Well, Johan will have a lot of thoughts on this. So
in fact, what he mentioned yesterday is the Ineos guys do this because this is what they've always done. It's ingrained in them to climb and pace and drop off. It's just what they do.
Well, that's when you had the yellow jersey with Chris Froome or Bernal or Geraint Thomas, but you don't have it anymore. They also have the luxury of being able to just sit there.
Right. What happened to classic tactics of Iran attacks and then Pogačar has to pull it back. Right. Then Carapaz attacks, Pogačar has to pull it back.
Yeah, I mean,
then Vingegaard.
Even with Pogačar, if I'm him, I'm letting those guys chase each other down because he's got a 5-minute buffer right now. It's Uran goes, Carapaz should chase that down, or Vingegaard should chase that down. It shouldn't be Pogačar chasing all this. Yeah, he should just be following.
We're gonna give just back to Sepp Kuss because we've had some questions from listeners. We haven't done it in a long time. I don't know. We're losing it in sleep here, but we're gonna make him the move of the day. That's by far the move of the day, and the sort of anti-move of the day has to be Guillaume Martin.
Oof, yeah.
I mean, here's a big story the other day. They give him all this time in the breakaway, he's sitting second on GC, and he gets dropped on the downhill. He goes from second to ninth.
Yeah, that is a big no-no in professional cycling.
That's a huge no-no. They have to send a teammate back to try to pull him. That would be the only. Of course, Ineos was using these sort of aggressive tactics before. As soon as he was dropped, you saw then that now they're justified to go as hard as they can. But, dude, you cannot lose the wheel on a downhill. I mean, big, wide road. Yeah. There's no reason. This is just inexcusable.
Super windy day as well. It's not like, he got over the climb with the group, so he should have, there's no reason why he should not have been in there on the downhill.
Man.
Third and fourth, 1 second apart.
Yeah.
I mean, this podium race for second and third it's still on. Ben O'Connor is not done yet.
No, he had a bad day. I think we can chalk up Von Tu to a bad day.
Talk about Ben O'Connor. I mean, what a fighter today. He got dropped probably 10 times on that last climb, kept coming back. Of course, the tactics of the yellow jersey group helped him come back because they were just basically neutralizing each other. But still, the guy is fighting to the very last minute, and it's great to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, I can't get over getting dropped on the downhill.
And Lance still getting into the polka dot race. Who'd have thought?
I in the pre-show sort of production meeting that we air for members, I said it. I could barely. It was hard to say. Like I'm kind of interested. It's heating up, and you got all between Wout Poels, Michael Woods, Quintana, who looked good again today.
Wout van Aert has as many points as Quintana.
And the cyclocross king, Wout van Aert. I mean, these guys are going for it. Like this, to me, I'm into this.
Yeah, this might be one of the most hotly contested polka dot jersey battles we've seen in several years. And, I think Quintana, he's just trying to sneak away from the guys like Wout Poels. It was interesting to see Wout van Aert going for all these sprints as well. So now we can't count him out because if he's there on the climb, he's going to beat these guys 9 times out of 10 to the sprint line to the climb. What a huge battle. And seeing Wout Poels getting on the jersey right now is well deserved. But it's going to be a battle to the end. That's no doubt.
And there's a lot of days like this is. I can't ever remember having this many days in the Pyrenees. I mean, obviously we have rest day there, but 3 more days in the Pyrenees. Feels like yesterday that's a total of 5 days. That's kind of unheard of.
If you look at the spectators, you would think the polka dot jersey is the most popular thing. Is that just does the caravan just hand out tons of polka dot freebies?
Yeah, good on them. I mean, they pay to sponsor the jersey, so therefore you have a place in the publicity caravan, which drives through an hour before the peloton, and they throw stuff out all the time. And clearly, they made a ton of those. I don't know if they're parkas or T-shirts but yeah, they're everywhere.
It's a lot of it.
Do you ever keep one of your polka dot jerseys? Just curious.
It's hanging in his living room.
I didn't even know I ever had it.
I'm sure you've worn it. You definitely have had to.
I don't know.
Johan, can you chime in here? I'm pretty sure you have.
That is.
No, it's funny. I've seen this man leave like when we were in Como, Italy, I think he left like a garbage bag full of World Championship jerseys, like never coming back. When he left Como, he had like polka dot green jerseys and all kinds of shit just laying there. Never come back, just throw it away.
There's some secondhand store, all over Europe, just
the
going.
The amount of collectibles you've left behind is mind-boggling.
I know. I'm not. People come to the house like, dude, where's the trophy room? I'm like, what? Not a trophy room. That was then. This is now. Like, you don't need that stuff. I did get a cool thing, and I posted about my trip to go see General Chuck Boyd. It's been a few months now, but he's was a 4-star general and was an amazingly inspirational person. Was a POW in Vietnam for 7 years. He's an amazing aviator. He led all the troops over in Europe for NATO, and he came to the tour in 1993 and rode in the team car. And I won the stage, and I gave my jersey to his son, who was a young boy at the time. And I went to go see him, and he said, and I've never had anybody do this because I've given away a lot of jerseys, including the ones in the trash bag. But he said, I think the most honorable thing is to give this back to the worthy owner. So he sent me the jersey. Wow. Yeah, the actual jersey from that stage into Verdun.
And you promptly threw it away.
No, this because he sent it with an amazing note. And if when you're a 4-star general, your note cards are pretty insane,
worthy of framing, right?
So I'm actually going to frame. There's the general.
How cool!
God, he's an amazing guy. We flew around in his plane. What a day! But I'm going to frame that one up with the note. The general is a legend.
8 teams with wins now, and a lot of people still fighting for something to leave the tour.
6 days. You have 15 teams that are going to leave empty-handed.
Yeah, like we just said with Matteo. I mean, guys are getting desperate right now.
Yeah,
so desperate that they're racing like they probably haven't had it in the past. So it's just going to get crazier and crazier.
And it's going to, and a lot of those 15 teams, of the French teams, in 3 days we've got. They're sort of their Independence Day, their 4th of July. That's going to be, these guys are going to go berserk. They're going to have to, but they always go berserk on Bastille Day.
Yep.
Dude, did you notice how fast I was going? I mean, this was for the first time this trip and this tour, I had the man on the edge.
He did.
I did.
We were going across the ridge there at from Snowmass over on Tom Blake, and I'm thinking, what is going? I actually made a comment to our buddy Dean. Yeah. I go, Dean, what's going on with the old man? Why is he riding so fast? So he definitely had me on the limit yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's right here, baby. The feed formula. This is, I've been religious about taking these every day, morning and night. It's totally simple. I don't have to mess with all the bottles and all. I'm not that smart. They just open the pack. Bam, it's right there. And I'm telling you that there's no other, I haven't been training that much. So
no other reason. And not only that, they make it, like you said, super. We have them here in the mud room every morning when I come back into the studio. I grab my pre-breakfast pouch, and then right before I go on the ride, I grab the pre-ride pouch. So it's just super easy, super clean. Like you said, keep it on the countertop. Not going to get in trouble by the wives. Love this stuff.
Yeah, and the feed, they came up, I mean, the whole platform is an amazing idea where you can just go in and curate your own feed bag and select different chews or different gels or different drink formulas. It's all right there. It's just like a pro. You just pick what you want in your bag and they ship it to your house.
Absolutely.
And they're loyal listeners and watchers of the show.
And not only that, they're giving 50% off their first feed formula. So head over to thefeed.com/TheMove and check out the flow code.
There's our flow code. Today's show also brought to you by Amp Human and Momentous. What a marriage. 2 brands we love very much. Momentous we've just been using for years, just on our own. Their recovery mix, their protein powder, their whole range of products is next to none. And then you layer it in with Amp Human's PR lotion, which is clinically proven to work. They're using it in the tour. They're using it in all the big leagues. Buffers lactic acid better than anything else. Special offer, as these 2 companies have come together. You get $30 off the kit that they're the Momentous Amp Human kit, $30 off. So they're going to bundle Momentous Recovery Mix and PR Lotion, which is usually $100. You get $30 off. Head on over to amphuman.com/themove. Something's in my throat today.
I think you went too hard on that ride trying to drop me yesterday, perhaps.
I don't know if it was the ride or if it was running into Ivanka Trump last night at dinner. That's not every day.
That was an exciting moment.
I mean, it was the dinner was, I was with the sheriff. I was with our good friend Tom Barrick. Anna was at another table with all her hot friends, and you had a lot. It was some ballers there.
Did you chat with her?
Well, so Tom is was a lifelong friend of the former president, and so it was involved. We wouldn't even get into that. I get in a lot of trouble when I talk about Trump.
Yeah, we're gonna get like blown up.
I'm trying, but I have known Ivanka for a long time, and it's that can be. Anyways, yeah, she was with her husband Jared Kushner, and they came over. I was like, hi, good to see you again. And then just 30 minutes later, like a 20-foot dude walked in with 5-foot wide shoulders. Dwight Howard. This, I've never seen a human being like this.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like, you don't think basketball is physical? This motherfucker just get out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And he comes to Aspen quite a lot, so it's cool to see him again. But yeah, Secret Service everywhere. And I was like, whoa, what happened to just coming for a chill dinner?
That's usually how it works whenever I go to dinner with you in Aspen. Some crazy people show up.
Today's show also brought to you by Ventum Direct to Consumer. These are my two go-to bikes, the NS1 on the road, the GS1 on the gravel, totally customized for your fit, which is actually the most important thing. Bicycling Magazine named it one of the best bikes of 2021. They're giving away a free NS1 frame set. You got to go over and register ventumracing.com/themove. And while you register, buy yourself a bike. It's 10% off. ventumracing.com/themove. Imagine building a bike for Dwight Howard. I mean, nothing could support this guy.
Biggest guy you've ever seen on a bike, former athlete. Who's that?
I think Bill Walton I saw on a bike once.
Say former
Yeah, he rides
athlete.
quite a bit,
lot,
actually.
but he's huge.
Yeah.
This Dwight Howard, man, this is a rock. Dude. I said, how much longer are you going to play? He says, 4 more years. I was like, looking at you, you can play 40 more years.
Your throat might be hurting too, because we were up late watching the McGregor fight.
We did, yeah. JB made me rent that damn thing, and I actually had it. No, I had it rented before because I don't like UFC. I mean, I'm not a fan, so to speak. I don't watch it, but I watched the other fight where Poirier and McGregor fought, and part of me enjoyed watching McGregor get his ass kicked. And I did, and so I wanted to watch the rematch, and I was pretty sure that Poirier was going to win again. But it was, man, what an event! That thing that happened with the leg,
yeah,
dude. They don't show that normally. You brought it up last night. Like if it's on mainstream TV or network TV, they don't show it.
They try to cut away as possible.
Well, when you're this pay-per-view shit, they just keep showing it.
Yeah. Ugh. What's funny watching that is you two cringing over a broken bone. How many broken bones are there just in the tour so far?
Oh, this year? Yeah,
Right?
This year's been rough.
I mean, cycling, the broken bones is like the norm, and you guys just couldn't handle watching it.
But they rarely show it like they showed that.
When it happens.
Yeah. I don't understand either why they were booing. I mean, we're in Las Vegas. You have an American fighting an Irishman. Unless that many Irish fans fly over. I didn't understand that. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, isn't he from, where's he from? South somewhere?
He fights out of Florida, but he's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Man, he was full of piss and vinegar in that post-fight interview too. And McGregor's there on the ground just talking shit.
My favorite moment, McGregor's on the ground. Joe Rogan, who I love, just lays down on the mat to interview him. Yeah. Like, that was a good move, Joe.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not doing a UFC podcast today, but
and George is fighting so hard not to pull up tennis.
It's over. It's over. Djokovic. Spoiler alert. Djokovic or the Joker. Let's just say the Joker.
Did you just say Djokovic? Excuse me. This is Wimbledon, and his name is.
For you guys that weren't part of the pre-show, I was glued to my iPad watching it, and I got in trouble by LA because he's like, "Let's start the show. Let's get it going." But it was really interesting.
Yeah, that guy's a beast. That's an athlete. I'll give you that.
Big time.
We are getting a lot of emails about next year's women's Tour de France.
Yes,
it's on our radar. Trust us.
Finally. I mean, there was one a long, long time ago, and then they just stopped doing it. I mean, hello, it's 2021. Mm-hmm. Give the women their own Tour de France, right?
And the women's Giro has wrapped.
Yep. Yeah, it's time. It's time
Yeah,
to have.
Anna van der Breggen. I'm going to mess this one up, of course, as well. But Anna van der Breggen has won the Women's Giro. Pretty awesome result for her.
Yeah, and I believe that didn't she win the final stage? Do you have the stage classification? I thought I read that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, it's about time. And kudos to Zwift for coming in and title sponsoring that. Good move on their part.
They're going back to today's stage also in the Tour. We lost Boasson-Hagen out of the time limit.
Oh, he looked
incredibly good cyclist. Something was definitely going on with him.
Well, the thing about him, he looks like butter on the bike. Like, this is one of the smoothest guys. When they showed him, I was like, it didn't even look like him. And he looked, something was wrong with him. I mean, clearly stomach issues. He just looked bad, was very uncomfortable on the bike. Got sent home.
And yet more stars aligning for Cavendish.
More good news from our Cavendish, Nasser Bouhanni.
And it must have been a good day for Cavendish because they never put a camera on him to see if he was.
Yeah, no, he finished, I think, under 25 minutes behind the group. He was still there with like 3 climbs to go. Like I keep mentioning, he's on the form of his life, and I don't think we're seeing him go anywhere until we get to Paris.
Yeah, and I'm starting to believe you. The reason they don't show Cavendish back there is because, we got a lot of questions. We had a large group downstairs in the living room watching the stage today, but they just kept showing Guillaume Martin, and they're like, why are we still watching this guy? And I said, because he's French. So the French, this is their feed. We all pull from that. Whether you're German TV, American TV, Italian, you're pulling from their feed. So you get what they want to stream. So that's that drives me crazy.
You got all fired up about it, but the best part for me was that you were wondering, why would the Quick Step rider help Gael Martin? Like, what the hell is this guy doing? What different?
Why ride for him?
And my answer was like, maybe they're friends. And it was like, this was incomprehensible to Mr. Lance, having a friend in the peloton that may want to help you. No, wait, what? What does that mean?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps
brotherhood, friendship.
You give him a little bit of love to get back.
What
to
else?
The group.
What are you going to do now? Gratitude list? I mean, come on. You're going to walk in the little thing where you walk to the middle.
Yeah, you got to have
lay
your
down
friends
some
in the
intention.
bunch.
You walk back out. I mean, stop with this granola shit.
You need your friends in the bunch. Never know when they can really help you out.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help him.
It didn't today.
He needs more friends.
Yeah.
He needs a friend to teach him how to go downhill, maybe. Probably.
or be Mosca at the top of the mountain.
Gotta be Mosca.
He must be able to descend decently, but it just probably wasn't paying attention, and who knows what happened. But to come off the back right over the top of the climb is just unacceptable.
It would be a fun live stream, because I'm glad you remembered to bring that up on the show, but it would be an amazing, like, if you could watch this shit happen real time, because this is exactly, I was like, why is he doing that? And George's like, maybe they're friends. Like, and I was like, I'm such an asshole.
So my theory,
people do have friends.
I probably shouldn't even say what Johan said. So my whole friend theory is probably totally off, because Catano was in the top 10 also. So he had a clear.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
So they're not friends.
They both needed to get back there to keep their position. I like the friend angle, though. It still happens in the bunch.
A couple of good comments and questions today. This one's great. Not sure if this has been discussed before, but wanted to see if there's an official and accepted form of greeting other We Do community in passing, if they're rocking We Do merch. When I was in Brevard for the segment challenge, I passed other riders rocking gear and saw folks out and about and pondered how to simply acknowledge a mutual connection without going overboard. Schools have battle cries like War Eagle, Hook 'em, or Roll Tide. Okay. What can be our official We Do greeting?
We don't have one, but I just thought of one, because the origins of We Do really were from, there was always a lead into it. And it was, you can make it anything, but here it is. This is what we do. And I'm just making this shit up right now. But as soon as you see somebody, you say, and if you feel like you're going to get the first word and you say, who does? And that other person?
We do.
I like it.
Who does?
Yeah.
We do.
Who does? And the other person, we do. Now, and if they say who does to you, then you say we do. So it's who does, we do. Damn, that is just, sometimes I surprise myself.
That's from Jimmy and Charlotte. Hopefully he got
How about
on the board in the segment.
Right. How about the Belgian fan who emailed in and asked, he said, I'm looking everywhere. I can't, and obviously English isn't his first language. He's like, I can't find a translation for jizzy. This is true. He's like, I don't find it in the dictionary here.
That's too funny.
It's not, there's no translation.
Have we had any moves in the segment as of today or yesterday? Negative. Okay.
No,
We'll bring it up after the rest.
Folks got a few more days. Better get out there.
Here's a really great email from Bryant. I've got a big social media confession to make. I hope it doesn't get me in trouble.
Oh, boy.
In 1996, I was a bellman in Atlanta, Georgia. NBC and Lance Armstrong were exclusive guests at the Renaissance Hotel. I didn't even know who Lance Armstrong was at the time, but he handed me his bike. I issued him a claim ticket, and when he left, I rode his bike. Don't judge me. I was very young and careless, but I actually can say that I rode Lance Armstrong's bicycle.
That's amazing. That reminds me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know, they take that Ferrari and they go for a spin. I did. If I could remember that far back, maybe the shifting was a little off after that.
I've got one more here that's going to get Lance on his high horse here a bit.
Oh,
you're going to get heated because you have in the past. I am familiar with the basic race strategies of the tour, having followed the race for 38 years. However, I am still not clear how the economics of the tour and team finances actually work. Most major sports rely on TV revenues, but it seems the tour owns those rights for the Tour de France. I would be interested in the assessment of the current economic model for bike racing in general and how they're going to adapt when it seems many races own the most valuable rights. That's from Chuck in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, that's say it all the time. That's like a 5-hour podcast. But ASO controls all that. They essentially control the sport. And it's just nobody has done anything to affect change there. The riders haven't come together, and the fact that the prize money has basically stayed the same since we raced. I mean, hello, that's ridiculous. It's a hugely profitable entity that the family sits on. ASO owns the tour. ASO is the Armory Sports Organization. That's the Armory family, AMAURY. And they own a bunch of other properties, but it doesn't trickle down. I mean, they even said on TV today they were sprinting for the highest point in the tour, and they were like, it's $5,000 for the first. I'm like, that's not even worth saying on national TV.
As I've said, you can't even buy the bike they're riding.
Yeah, it's. Let me tell you something. I'm 50, almost 50. I will have a voice in this conversation before it's all said and done. I promise you.
Heard it here first.
Yes.
And another thing,
the good news in all this, the salaries are coming up a bit for the riders. It's not prize money is basically just a little bonus at the end of the year, but primarily. And unfortunately, it's just a marketing platform for companies. It is a really good marketing platform. Got global eyes all over these teams. And that is in itself very valuable, but there is zero franchise value for now.
No, that's right. Yeah, if that was any part of that question, no, you do not own anything when it's all said and done, other than the team bus and some old jerseys and some bikes. No.
It also seems like there should be a pension system for riders, because there's only a small portion of the bike racers that are set for life when they retire, and retiring at 35 from the sport. We saw it in NFL.
Look at this slide. So riders, how teams. Well, this is some years old. So this has even gone up from there. You had Team Sky in 2013 spent almost $22 million on rider salaries. We spent just over $11.5 million in 2002. Yeah, it's
so yeah. And Team Sky is still back then and still is the gorilla in terms of teams. They're the largest by far.
And in a unique situation, and of course now we're seeing some of these Middle Eastern countries like Bahrain and UAE. They do not have a budget, right? Ineos Grenadiers does not have a budget. If they have
whatever you need.
Well, yeah, they have a wealthy supporter that he'll stroke a check, but we didn't have that. We had to go through and we had to look at everything. Here's the Tour Tour de France prize money. Oh, by the hour. Oh, damn. Well, I guess if you win, $7,000 an hour is not. That's a little bit above minimum wage.
Well, remember, you got to split that by 9.
Right.
So
That's
it's not
true.
like one person's getting that.
Yeah, and $595,000. And this is 2019, so that's just barely above what I made in 05.
Exactly. That's my point. In 2005 or 2000, when you first won in 99, it was about relatively the same amount of prize money. And it was compared to Roland Garros, for instance. Now, if you win Roland Garros, it's about $2.5 million. So you can see we're not moving, and other sports are.
A little stuck in our ways there.
Yep.
But nobody's saying anything. I mean, believe me, if I'm ASO and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, our revenues are going up. Nobody's is taking a stand here. Well, I'm not going to change it. Why? Because they're friends? No,
Not gonna happen.
They're not friends.
No.
But I will give them kudos for finally getting off their ass and relaunching a women's Tour de France.
Yep.
I'll give them that.
That is going to be big.
Cool. Send those comments, questions, themove@wedo.team. And if for some reason iTunes has just been wonky.
Still?
It was fine yesterday. But if on a future episode, when you normally get it, you can always go to wedo.team and it has everything posted.
Or you can be a member and watch the show live. You don't have to wait for anything. We have thousands of people sitting here watching us right now, which is scary. Keeps us honest.
Yep.
Mostly. Rest day tomorrow before we sign off. This is welcome, I think, for most of these guys. You know, as we comment on a lot, they like to jump back in on a sort of a transition day where they get to just get thrown right back into the Pyrenees. That'll be rough for some guys.
Yeah, it'll be rough. I think we're going to see a lot more of Movistar coming up. We're close to Spain. All these guys' families are showing up. Their morale's changing. As you saw them today, perhaps being a little bit too aggressive in the back, but I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of them.
And one of the 15 teams that hasn't won a stage.
Yep.
I mean, we're close today with Valverde, but it's getting, there's some people getting nervous and some sponsors getting upset.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll talk to you in 2 days. We won't see you tomorrow. We're going to take a day off, just like everybody else. Yep.